that's true. Naked Palpatine.
Oh, you pick that one. Fresh out of the clone tank, nude Palpatine is my
Well, that's the first thing I think of when you say Dark Empire Palpatine.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Star Wars Expanding Universe, narrated by Disney, or Lucasfilm, whichever way you slice it. Legends. I have the end. Well, of the comic series, there's one more thing related to it that we'll get to next week. Basically, everything after the Dallas Moore stuff that I talked about, Celeste Moore, and her talisman, up to issue 50 of Legacy. It's good stuff. I mean, what else are you gonna expect me to say? Personally, and this may sound like blasphemy to some, every time we don't focus on Cade and company, like with Garstazi and everything with that, I just kind of checked out. I was not feeling it this time around. Not that it was bad. I was just completely and utterly disinterested. And I know Garstazi's cool because the first time I read it, I really liked Garstazi. He's a really great new character, and there's a lot of fun storylines within that. That being said, it's just consistently they use a different art style. It's more cartoony. It feels more light, even though there's serious stuff happening. And even though there is crossover between that and the Cade stuff, I just can't find it in myself, at least this time around, to give a damn. Maybe it's because I'm reading Malazan at the same time, and I'm reading so much sophisticated things in the brain that just comes off as like, I don't know, kind of childish. I don't know. But I just didn't vibe with it. It just wasn't hitting me. And I don't know if that's just like a state of mind thing right now with me, or if that's just like my new opinion. I don't know. But I wasn't for it. So that's just me personally. But it's, most people would say that's some really great parts of the comic series as a whole. But that does run a big portion of the stuff in this particular section. They also really want to make me like really love this like Imperial Knight guy that kind of looks like Santa Claus if he's super buff, and I didn't even write his name down. That's how much I didn't care. But he's fine, and he looks really cool, and he's animated properly or drawn properly by Jan Duursema. But I just don't care. I just don't. And maybe it's just where I'm at right now in life, but I just did not care. I really tried to, but I didn't care. That being said, everything with Cade and everything continues to be phenomenal. As he, continually struggles with his role, what he needs to be, what he should be doing. Meanwhile, you continue to have the political intrigue with the Empire and what's going on behind there with the backstabbings and everything. And then you, of course, have backstabbing back with the One Sith because of what Wirelock did to Crate. And some of the Sith are beginning to catch on to this, like Melody and Darth Nihil and Darth Talon. So there's a bit of a splinter there. But of course, the biggest thing is the ending, because guess what? Wirelock is not going to be the big bad of this series. I think it's safe to say that if you feel like Darth Crate went out too quickly, you'd be right, and that was intentional. But I won't talk about that until spoilers, in case somehow you haven't read this series, which has been out for a long time. But it sets up what will be the following series, which is a 5-issue series titled Legacy War. Because this is a big thing they were doing back in the early 2000s. They had KOTOR, War. They had, I think it was Rebellion, War. They had Dark Times, War, or something. I don't know. No, it wasn't Dark Times. It was, or Rebellion. It was Dawn of the Jedi. They had Dawn of the Jedi, War. And then they had Legacy, War. It was this weird thing they wanted to keep doing. I don't know why. Instead of just making it like 55 issues, they just cut it off at 50 for some reason. It's because like the original Marvel one went for 107, and then after 2014 we got 108. But instead of just doing like 55 issues, or maybe giving it some more issues, making it even like 60, they're just like, no, we're just going to do a 5-issue mini-series after Legacy called Legacy War, and that will be your true conclusion. I don't know, it's a bit weird, but I'm not a comic book writer, so what I know. So that's what next video will be about. It will be just about Legacy War. But this is the end of the Legacy comics by themselves, without getting an Epic Collection version of that. So, or a Marvel collection, or whatever the fudge you get. If you just have like the paperbacks, this would be the end, and then you'd have to get Legacy War separately. Most cases now, if you're getting it now, you're not getting a single issue. You're going to be getting a collection, so most likely it's going to include Legacy War with it, but just know that this issue 50 is the end of the Legacy comics, and then Legacy War is an addendum to that, but it is a separate run. But yeah, I'm going to get, because it's not issue 55, it's Legacy War issue 1. But yeah, I'm going to get into spoilers if you don't want that. Here's the door. I don't have too much to say here. Issue 39, we have Mandos. Like, the only time we have Mandos. And this is still in the cartoony art style of, like, what the rest of the series has been doing with the Garstazzi stuff. Though it is kind of reminiscent of, like, Jango Fett open seasons. That being said, it's fine. If you liked Mandos, you'd really get a kick out of this. We have a Mando working for this new rebellion, but he just kind of gave up that life, and he puts it back on at the end, and he puts on this black and gold armor, and he's supposed to get revenge or something on this Mandalore guy, and they never follow through with that in these comics. It's just like there's like a spin-off story, but we never actually address it. So that's something that's always bugged me. If the EU ever gets continued, maybe we can have a short story about that or something, because he just gone. After this issue, he never returns. He doesn't help out in Legacy of War, nothing. So why do we have an entire issue dedicated to this Mandalorian if you're going to do nothing with it? I don't know. That being said, it was a really good issue, though. I enjoyed it. Also, just want to mention, because I recently did, at least at the time that I'm recording this, when I upload this, it's going to be like months later. So my birthday will already passed. By the time I uploaded this, I'll be 24. 1 year away now from 25, which will be my quarter-life crisis. No, but I record these videos massively ahead of time. So, like, for me, it's October 1st. So, but that being said, hold on. Anyway, I was going to say, before I was rudely interrupted, that I recently did my podcast episode with Scott and Brennan and all the gang, with Robert and Al, and we were discussing the Adobe 3 comic arc, where we get introduced to Jackson, and we're talking about like how we actually like don't mind the rabbit existing in Star Wars because we got talking cats in the same universe, but it's more so how he's designed in those comics that's like too cartoony. But here we actually get a panel, just as one panel, it's not important, but we do see a Jackson race, but like drawn realistically, or how it would probably actually look in the universe, and I really liked it. So just thought that is the canonical version of how Jackson probably looked. All Inzadi should be executed. Is that racist? Am I asking for genocide? Yes, you can quote me on that, because the Inzadi, we have not been shown a single example of any of them being kind, gracious, and loving. Every single one of them wants to stick their tentacles up your nose, into your brain, and suck your juices and kill you. Every single one. There's not been a single author who's tried to make this race redeemable, or kind, or loving. We never even saw an Inzadi Jedi. We have Inzadi Sith. We don't have any Inzadi Jedi. Which leads me to determine that every author seems to be in agreement that they are all terrible. That they are all the vampires of the Star Wars universe and deserve to die. So my application for the getting rid of the Inzadi remains clear. Write that on the, the Proposition 66. Kill all Inzadi. I'm putting that in my Senate vote. Will you vote with me? I hope so. Unless you want your brain to be sucked dry. Anyway, we have two Inzadi couples who are married who are tasked with catching Cade, killing him, along with a blood carver. So that's pretty cool if you like Rogue Planet, which is like, I think the only place where they really pop up. But if you wanted, they go, oh, I know what that is. They're there. Um, but Cade goes back to Lars' homestead, and he gets this huge like vision with Luke, and he does this whole battle with Luke, and it's really cool. And it's just another thing of Luke trying to get through to this guy's dickhead. I also thought it was interesting because Warlock makes it a thing that like the Imperial missionaries are now going to learn like Sith teachings and start preaching that, like essentially like a new religion or something. But it's interesting that even though Ashrod is a Sith, that he allowed them to continue basically operating the same as they did before he took over. So we also get to see Zeltros, which is pretty cool. So we get to see Zeltrons in their glorious physiques, all in Gran Turismo glory. Bellotti knows that Ashrod is been usurped and wants Nihilus' help, as I said in non-spoilers. And we get to this part where Bellotti starts torturing, with the help of a Vong, Delilah. Or people tell me I'm wrong. I don't care. With an embrace of pain, and Kate has to save her. And he's like, I have to get more angry. I have to use the dark side. So it's stronger. It will save her. And Wolf tells him, like, you gotta do it in the light. But interesting enough, when he uses the light, Cade focuses on his love for Delilah and how she's been with him, you know, through bad times, through good. When Cade didn't deserve her love, she was always constant. And the whole part is really beautiful. The love is really beautiful. I love Cade and Delilah. And so she's saved. And then Cade realizes I gotta step up. I gotta take down Ashrod. Because guess what? Ashrod is not dead. He lives. He looks like a damn skeleton, but he is alive, and he's gonna get revenge on Warlock and take down the Jedi once and for all in Legacy War, which is what we'll talk about next time. But overall, like I said, I love the Legacy comics. However, as I said, my favorite of the Legends material in terms of comics goes to KOTOR and Tales of the Jedi. I like Republic. That'll probably be next. Then probably Legacy. Actually, Legacy might be above Republic. You'd have to give me some time to ruminate on that. And then the Dark Times and the Rebellion. In terms of those like era of comics, I mean the Marvel comics are a lot of fun, but they're not. They're kind of silly. But yeah, I loved all 50 issues. I loved rereading them. I'm excited to see, or to re-see, the conclusion to Legacy. Till next time, may the Force be with you.